everyone, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me. This is what I've been making today. It's a secret message slider card. You've got a message there that says today's the day, and when you pull on the ribbon it reveals another message and a happy birthday. Very, very easy to do, so stay with me and I will show you how I made it. This is Melon Mambo DSP from the Brights stack, and I'm going to score it. No, I'm not going to tell you how big it is first of all. 3, 2, 1. This is a piece of Melon Mambo DSP from the Brights stack, and it's 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and I'm going to score it first of all at the 4-inch mark. I'm going to make sure I use my scoring blade and not my cutting blade, because that would be wrong. And I'm going to turn it. I'm not going to flip it or do anything with it. I'm just going to line it up with the 1/2 inch mark on this side of the trimmer, and I'm going to score it there. And that is going to be the sleeve of my card. Alright, so before I go any further, just to make sure I don't make any mistakes and do things on the wrong side, I've got my tear and tape here, and I'm just going to run it along that edge there, because that is going to be how it gets stuck together. This side is going to be the front of my card. It's going to be like that, and so I want to work on the reverse now, because I want to do some marking. And I want to measure, put this out of the way just for a minute, I'll bring it back in a second. So I want a line 3/4 of an inch from the top edge here. So I'm going to use my ruler, line it up along the edge, and I'm just drawing a line 3/4 of an inch from that side, and another one from this side. Keep that straight, because this is going to be where I start and finish my cut lines for the slit that the runner will go along. Okay. So I'm bringing back in my stamping trimmer, and this time I'm going to be using my cutting blade. So I want to line this up. I've got my fold line here, and I'm lining my fold up with the 3/4 of an inch mark there, so that this side of it, it's at 3 3/4 of an inch. Just making sure that that's 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to bring my blade down so that it is, the point on the blade is lined up with the line that I've just drawn, and I'm just going to cut all the way to the bottom. Now I'm going to line up this edge of the paper at 1 1/4 inches, at the 1 1/4 inch mark, and the same thing, bringing my blade in so that it lines up with the line that I marked, and taking it down to the other line that I marked. And I have now cut myself a slit in the middle of the card. This is a little piece of Whisper White, and it is 3 3/4 of an inch by 4 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to line it up at the 2-inch mark. So that's on the longer side, and I'm going to cut almost, but not quite, all through the card. So I've just got a little bit left at the end there. So I'm bringing back my sleeve I made, and that's going to be the top. I have decided. Got 1-inch circle punch, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball out of the middle there. I'm just going to cut myself a little bit of a a thumb helper to help me pull the card out. So this is going to be the outer sleeve of my card, and this is going to be the free moving piece. So I'm going to working on the inside of my card. I want that way. So the narrow piece is towards the bottom, you see that? And my wider piece then is at the top. And that just slides in just like that. Okay, and that will then move in the channel. So I'm going to put a little bit of tear and tape just to seal that up, and I'm just going to put another little bit at the top as well. Not too tight because I want it to be able to move freely. So I'm just going to check that does in fact move freely, and it does. Good. Right, I want to do a bit of stamping on this before I go any further. So I'm going to bring in my little silicone mat here, and I'm going to open up my slider so it's where I want it to be, and I want a message to appear here when the card is opened. And I'm using a stamp from this set, Happy Happenings, and in fact I'm going to be using 3 of them. I'm going to be using Today's the Day, Let the Celebration of Your Fabulousness Begin, that's easy for you to say, and Happy Birthday. And Happy Birthday is the one that I'm going with first of all. And I'm sorry if I'm still sounding a bit croaky, and thank you everybody who left a message and saying that they hoped that my husband and I were getting over the flu and that we were better. And I'm happy to tell you that yes, we are much improved, although I do still have a little bit of croakiness. Okay, so this is basic black archival ink, and I'm inking up the word Happy Birthday, and I'm going to be very, very brave and just plonk this down. Just holding that just for a few seconds, just to let the ink transfer onto my card, and there we are. And that's good enough. I'm happy with that. Maybe slightly off centre, but you know what, nobody's going to stop a galloping horse. I've got my handheld circle punch here, and I'm going to punch a hole at the top, and I've got my Whisper White organza ribbon, so I'm just going to cut myself a nice length of that, and that's going to be my pull through for my card. And I could have left doing this till the last, but it's all out in place now, so let's do it. Let's do it sooner rather than later. Okay. I will trim those afterwards. Oh, actually, maybe I'll trim them now. Trim that down a little bit so I haven't got too much ribbon flapping around there. There you go. Okay. Right, so that's that part of it done, almost. I'm going to put something on there, but not right now. Okay, so this is the part that's going to sit in there, and it's a piece of Whisper White, which is 2 3/8 of an inch that way by 4 inches. And I'm going to stamp on this one as well. So let the celebration of your fabulousness begin is going to be at the bottom. So again, with the archival black ink, basic black ink, and I'm going to pop that one at the bottom there, so that it is covered up when we start, but when we pull that away, it's revealed. You with me so far? And the last one then is Today's the Day, which will go at the top. Okay, now this is going to fit in there just like that, and I'm going to use, I think, tearing tape to stick it down, because I tried using snail on it previously and it didn't end well. Quite honestly. It wound up having to be taken apart and put back together again. Alright, so you can see the bit where it went a bit wrong there, but I'm not going to stress about that because I'm going to be covering that up. Okay, so I'm going to half take the backing off the tearing tape, if you understand what I mean. I'm just taking that and just folding it just off over to one side, and then I can align my my messages, and I want to make sure that that pretty much covers the message in place, which it sort of does. So now I can take off the backing of the tape. Be a little bit inventive with the slider here. Just pull that out of the way. 1 and 2. A little bit fiddly. There it is. Just want to make sure that that goes up and down, and that covers up that bottom part of it, which it does. Okay. Right, so I'm going to run some tear and tape along the bottom part here. I don't want it to cover that edge there. Close up the backing of my card. So I'm going to make sure that that is running freely, which it is. And then I am not having a good taping day today. There we go. It just doesn't want to do it right. Dear me. Oh well. You know what? It's just a bit of paper. It's not life and death. It's just a little bit of paper and card. Okay. Right, so we're nearly finished. This is looking a bit plain, so I've cut myself a piece of basic black card, which is 2.5 by 2, I think it is. My ruler. Yep, 2 inches by 2.5. And I'm going to put some snail onto that. And that is going to sit on the front there, just like that. Okay. That will, just checking that everything still moves freely, because that's important. And oops, that's shifted over to the side somewhat. Come back. That's better. And I've cut myself a melon mambo heart using one of the new Sweet and Sassy dies, which are in the brand new catalogue, which goes live on the 1st of June. And I'm planning on posting this video on the 31st of May, so if you're looking at this on the day that I release it, then it will be tomorrow. And I will be having a live stream here on this channel, just going through the new catalogue and showing you all the lovely things inside. So I do hope that you will join me for that. Okay. As I said, I'm teasing you with this one. But I think the Melon Mambo on the black looks pretty good. And there it is. Okay, we'll have one more bit of bling, I think. And I've got some of our basics rhinestones. And I'm going to use one of the largest one. And I'm just going to put that just there. And I think that just finishes it off. I've decided I want to do one more thing to this card, and it's this knot of ribbon here. I'm really not liking it. If you see what I mean, it's kind of too lumpy and bumpy, and it's not soft enough really. So I'm going to change the way it ties. So I've just undone the knot and re-threaded it through here, and I've got some Whisper White Baker's Twine. So I'm just going to cut myself a piece of that, and I'm just going to loop that around the edge of my ribbon, just like that. Okay, see, I make these mistakes so you don't have to. Okay, and I'm just going to tie that off with a knot and a double knot for security. There you go. And trim off my ends. And this is now way too long, so I'm just going to trim this down a little bit. And I am much happier with that. So here it is finished, my finished window slider card, which pulls up to reveal a hidden message. And I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. If so, please do leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up. If you've really liked it, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you want to find out more, then please do visit my blog and my Facebook page. The details are underneath this video, and there's also a link to my online Stampin' Up shop if you want to get hold of the things that you've seen me use in this tutorial. But for now, thank you very, very much for joining me, and I hope that I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.